Hey everybody, so we've got some pretty significant NHL news today regarding Justin Williams. Justin Williams announced today that he is stepping away from hockey, taking a break from the NHL, and will not be signing with any team for the start of this season at least. He is not calling this a retirement. He's leaving the door open basically for a potential return in the future. But he is not going to be signing anywhere at least for the start of the season. So we don't really know if this is it for Justin Williams or not. I almost don't think it is. But he is 37 years old. He'll be 38 next month right about when the season starts. Obviously, he's had a tremendous NHL career. 3 Stanley Cups, over 1,200 games played, over 700 points. He's been a fantastic player for a long time in this league. And, if this is it for him, I mean, it's certainly a career worth hanging your hat on, and certainly nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, when you look at his career numbers, 1,244 games played, 312 career goals, 474 assists for 786 points. And that's just in the regular season. They don't call him Mr. Game 7 for nothing. He was a fantastic playoff performer throughout his career. Multiple time Stanley Cup winner, 2006 with Carolina, 2012 with LA, and again 2014 with LA. 155 career playoff games, 40 goals, 61 assists for 101 points in the playoffs. So incredibly productive in the playoffs as well. Just a great third line player, really a second line player for pretty much the majority of his career. Great guy to watch, highly respected around the league, well liked around the league. Did a fantastic job last year. Just last season, he had 53 points with Carolina. Was the captain of the team, helped lead them onto a deep playoff run to the Eastern Conference Final that took a lot of people by surprise. Just an incredible career started out in Philly, went to Carolina, went to LA, couple years in Washington, just missed winning the Stanley Cup in Washington by 1 year, and then the last couple seasons he's been back in Carolina. I don't know necessarily the full reasoning behind why he's stepping away. It's not like he was an aging veteran, kind of a has-been living off his past accomplishments. He was still a very productive player, even just last season. 53 points, 23 goals, a phenomenal season for a 37-year-old last year. So it's not like he couldn't play anymore and this was kind of his swan song and he was on his way out. He absolutely was still performing at a very high level. And I'm honestly a little surprised, but it could be that he just doesn't want to go through the grind of an 82-game NHL season again. Carolina played a lot of hockey last year. He played all 82 games each of the last 2 seasons. And then he had the deep playoff run last year as well, all the way to the Eastern Conference Final. So, he's played a lot of hockey. He's definitely getting up there in age. And he might just not want to go through the grind of another training camp, another preseason, another 82 games, another playoff run. And when you're that old and you've had the career that he has had, then, at some point, maybe even though you're still a good player, you just go, I don't want to do this anymore. And it seems like that's kind of the case here, where he's certainly taking a step back and he's not going to sign. Now, I think if he does come back at all, it's going to be with Carolina. I think he really wants it to be with Carolina. I really don't see him going anywhere else. And it would be, I think, a Mike Fisher type move, where if you remember a couple years ago, after the deep playoff run for Nashville, Mike Fisher retired, and then during the next season, he unretired, signed with the team with a little bit of regular season left, and then was there at the end of the regular season and for the playoffs for Nashville. That did not get Mike Fisher a Stanley Cup, but I could see a similar type move coming from Justin Williams with the Hurricanes. Maybe we get to January of this year or February of this year. Carolina's in the thick of the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. Maybe they've got an injury in their top 9. They need a winger. And in comes Justin Williams, signs a 1-year deal, plays maybe 35 games for them in the regular season, and then is there for the playoff run. That would not surprise me in the least. He wouldn't have to go through the full grind of the full season, and he would get a shot at another playoff run, potentially another Stanley Cup. And we would see what happened. But he's certainly everyone's made it very clear that this is not a retirement. This is not a guaranteed retirement. So he is absolutely leaving the door open for a return. And I think if he does return, it's going to be Carolina. I can't imagine that he would want to leave Carolina, because I'm sure he got offers this offseason. Even though he's 37, almost 38 years old, there's no way that a player who is the playoff performer that Justin Williams is, the veteran and leader that Justin Williams is, and still producing at a 20 goal, 50-point level the way that Justin Williams is, didn't get calls this offseason. I'm sure there were a number of teams that would love to add Justin Williams to their roster. I don't think he wants to leave. I don't think he wants to leave Carolina. He went back there for a reason. I think he likes it there. And he saw what that team did last year. And I think that if he does come back, it will be with the Hurricanes. However, I think right now, he's not either mentally or physically ready to go through another full NHL season. I think that's why he's taking a step back, and he's not going to sign with anyone. And then mid-season, who knows what happens? He'd only have to play maybe a little less than half the year, and then be there for the playoffs. And that might be something he's a little more open to doing than signing right now and playing the full season. So we'll see if he returns or not. If not, it's the end of a phenomenal NHL career and a great player that a lot of people really, really like and respect. And I am a huge fan of Justin Williams. And his playoff performances are legendary. His Game 7 performances are legendary. They call him Mr. Game 7 for a reason. And I hope to see him back in the league. I hope this isn't the end of it. If it is, congratulations on a great career. If not, I think we might see him in a Hurricanes uniform towards the end of this season. I would not at all be surprised to see him come back on a 1-year deal for one more playoff run and see what happens. But that's the big news of the day. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.